Hello Aries, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Aries, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Aries, let's get started. How does Aries currently view this relationship? All right, Aries, let's see what we got. Okay, Aries, so we do have the 10 of Swords, we do have the Wheel of Fortune, and then we also have the Hierophant out here. For some of you, you could be dealing with a Taurus strongly, possibly a Gemini, maybe even an Aquarius, or a Leo or a Scorpio. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case though. Also possibly an Aquarius. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but in regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, currently at the moment, you're definitely connecting with somebody that you feel like you resonate very, very well with, somebody that you feel like you're very compatible with, somebody that you can totally see yourself settling down with and building towards a life with. Things between the two of you have been unfolding very, very nicely from the looks of it with the Wheel of Fortune coming out here. The Wheel of Fortune is also telling me that this person that you're currently connecting with, they do possess a lot that you're essentially looking for, within a person. I'm getting a whole lot of, excitement for the most part, off of you. And your energy in regards to this individual that you currently find yourself connecting with. Now, with the 10 of Swords coming out here, I do want to look a little bit more into this 10 of Swords just to kind of see what else I could get, because this could very well represent like an energy of fear possibly starting to get the best of you. So I just want to look a little bit more into this 10 of Swords energy just to see why it's showing up within your energy. Tell me more about the 10 of Swords. Okay. I just kind of feel, Aries, like you're doing something that you promised yourself you wouldn't necessarily do again. So it kind of looks like in the past there was a relationship that you were in that ended really badly. It kind of looks like you were dealing with someone that put you through a lot of pain and, suffering, things of that nature. So when that relationship essentially came to an end, it kind of looks like you made this promise to yourself that you would never, you know what I mean? Like allow yourself to go there with a person ever again. So the fact that you find yourself going there with a person all over again goes against the very thing you promised yourself you would basically never do. So that 10 of Swords energy, it does definitely feel like fear, but the main reason why it's showing up within your energy has a lot to do with a previous relationship that you were a part of. And because, you went through a whole lot of pain and suffering, a lot of you might think that you're going to go through that all over again with this particular person, even though this person is very different from your ex, even though things are unfolding, really nicely here between the two of you, you can't help but to feel like you're signing yourself up to get hurt and disappointed, all over again. I think that after this relationship between you and this person from your past came to an end, you were very big on protecting, your peace, your energy, things of that nature. You could have even found yourself harnessing that 7 of Wands like energy, which basically represents, somebody who's very protective over themselves, somebody who's very, very guarded, somebody who isn't so quick to let a person in. So you may have found yourself being that way for quite some time now, up until you met this person. Because I feel like even prior to you meeting this person, you could have had like other, opportunities in love. But what could have made it very hard for you to pursue it could have had a lot to do with that 7 of Wands energy. You being very guarded and very protective over your heart space as well as yourself and your peace, things of that nature. So, relationships that you had the chance and or opportunity to go off and pursue, maybe you didn't necessarily go off and pursue it due to what you went through with this particular person. But that's the primary reason why there's fear, I would say, on your behalf in regards to, pursuing this dynamic here, between you and this person. But there is something that I do need to tell you, okay? As far as your relationship with this person, is concerned, considering the fact that you do have the 9 of Swords to the 10 of Swords out here, I feel like I do kind of have to share this with you. I don't want you to walk into this relationship with any sort of unrealistic expectations. In other words, I'm saying all of that to say, this. There's going to be times where you're going to go through some hard times with this person. It doesn't matter, where you go or who you end up with, you're going to experience some trying times, with anybody that you choose to go off and pursue and establish, a life with. So I don't want you to think that just because things are good, between the two of you, things are going to remain this way until the day, the two of you die. You know what I mean? Because realistically speaking, you're going to have trying moments with this person. You're going to experience moments of adversity with this person. And I think that that's what kind of concerns me the most when it comes down to how you're walking into this relationship. It has a lot to do with this unrealistic expectation that you're placing upon this person as well as your relationship with them, regardless if you're consciously aware of it or not. That's what I'm worried about, because I feel like the moment, let's say that you guys get into like a really big fight or a really big argument over something stupid, you know what I mean? You might be the type of person to fall into this energy of, oh, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, I'm not doing this shit again. And you might get up and walk away from the relationship, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm worried about, because even though you're going to experience trying times, with this person, it is what it is. I just kind of feel like the moment you do, you know what I mean? Like, you might fall into this energy of, oh, no, 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 like, I didn't sign myself up to go through this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. And you might decide to get up and walk away. Not saying that you actually will, but the energy that you're harnessing, it leans far more towards if something were to ever happen, like you guys get into a big fight / argument, you're more prone to get up and walk away because of everything that you've been through in the past. You're not trying to sign yourself up to go through hard times. You're not trying to sign yourself up to experience fights and arguments with anybody. You know what I mean? So that's my only worrying concern, when it comes down to, I guess it's expectation that you have, upon this person, this relationship. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I would say. Yeah, that's the only thing that I would say to just be consciously aware of, that even though you're going to, that's a given, but even though you're going to experience trying times and hard times with this person, don't be so quick, you know what I mean, to get up and walk away. You know what I mean? Don't be so quick to do that. How does this person currently view this relationship with Aries? Okay, let's see. Okay, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Eight of Pentacles, we also have the Three of Wands, and then we also have the Four of Cups to the Seven of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles, okay? There's something about you, Aries, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but there's something about you that causes this person to feel like they really need to kind of get their act together. Is like the best way that I could describe what it is that I'm seeing here. This person is not where they want to be at. And it could be, financially speaking, considering the fact that we do have the Seven of Pentacles, so Five of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles. So maybe this person is not happy where they're at financially speaking and or career-wise. This relationship between the two of you, it is definitely inspiring this person to want to focus on improving their financial situation, starting that business they've always wanted to start, going back to school, things of that nature. And I feel like it's primarily because this person truly does want to be your equal. Like I said, there's just something about you that causes them to feel like, I really need to get like my life together. Which is kind of making me feel like this person feels like you're better than them. So maybe you make more money than them. Maybe you're more successful than them. Maybe you're more established than them. But with that Four of Cups energy, that's kind of telling me to a degree, to a certain extent, this relationship does make them feel less than, but I feel like it does kind of revolve around money. Like I said, maybe you make more money than this person. That's definitely a possibility. And this relationship could very well be influencing them to improve their financial situation, do what they have to do to get themselves, out of this Five of Pentacles energy, which basically represents a state of lack. This could also represent like an individual living, living from paycheck to paycheck. That's definitely a possibility. But I think that this is somebody who clearly is striving to be your equal. I think that deep down inside, this person knows that currently at the moment they're not your equal. And it's something that this person wants to improve on, which I like a lot. I want to ask one more time how they're currently viewing this relationship with you. How does this person currently view this relationship? Doom, 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 doom. We have the Fool, we have the Six of Cups, and then we also have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, I like this. Now, when it comes down to how they're currently viewing you and this dynamic that they share with you, for starters, this is somebody who feels like they could essentially trust you, which is very important to them because they want to build and establish a life with someone that they feel that they could actually trust. So when it comes down to you, they do view you as somebody who is very, very trustworthy. They also view you as somebody who's very committed and devoted to them and what you guys share with one another. This is somebody who also loves the fact that you're very, very responsible, very mature, very career oriented, very hardworking, things of that nature. I mean, when this person looks at you, they look at you like you're perfect for them. They view you as the Queen of Pentacles, regardless of your gender. Male or female doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us, but for those of you who don't know this, the Queen of Pentacles is considered to be the perfect partner card, just like the King of Pentacles is considered to be the perfect partner card. So when somebody meets a Queen of Pentacles or even a King of Pentacles, they instantly feel the exact same way this person feels. Like, oh my God, I finally found the one. Oh my God, this person's perfect for me. This person basically looks at you like you're, you know, a dream come true, a wish come true. So with the Fool coming out here, you definitely have this person, you know, definitely falling for you. Okay. How does Aries currently feel? All right, so we have the 10 of Wands, okay? We do have the 2 of Cups, and then we also have the 6 of Cups. The fact that you have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, I do feel like that's attached to this previous relationship that you were once upon a time, you know, a part of. Now, because this is showing up within your energy, Aries, that's kind of telling me that you haven't necessarily fully healed from everything that you went through in that previous relationship. But even though you haven't necessarily fully healed from everything that you went through in that previous relationship, I feel like this current relationship, that you're in is revealing to you how different this person is compared to this person from your past. So with that being said, because you still haven't necessarily fully healed from the past, you might find yourself at times projecting past experiences that you've had with this ex of yours onto them in your relationship with them. Again, just, you know, just using this as an example, let's just say that this person, you know, from your past cheated on you, just using it as an example. Not saying that that happened, but, you know, you catch my drift. Well, this relationship is definitely revealing to you that you're definitely connecting with somebody who is far from, you know, a cheater. So with that being said, that's something that you should definitely find a whole lot of comfort in, okay? Because I am definitely getting that even if you do find yourself projecting past experiences that you've had with this ex of yours onto this person, onto your relationship with them, your relationship with this person is going to constantly reveal to you that you don't necessarily have anything to worry about. This person is nothing like your ex. So you can, you know, you can relax, you know what I mean? You can relax. I just kind of feel like it's hard for you to just like relax and just give in to the situation entirely because of everything that you've, you know, been through. You know, for some of you, you might think, this person probably is going to abandon me like the last person did. They're probably going to cheat on me like the last person did. But I think that this person's constantly showing you day in and day out that they're not here to abandon you. They're not here to play you. They're not here to, you know, waste your time. You see what I mean? And that's something that you should basically find a lot of, you know, comfort in. But I think that the most important thing that you need to do in this entire situation, so that way it's not continuing to haunt you or affect you to the point where you're projecting past experiences that you've had with this ex of yours onto this person, onto this relationship, would be acceptance. To be completely honest, acceptance is going to be your best friend when it comes down to the situation you currently find yourself in. You need to accept the fact that this person is nothing like your ex. You need to accept the fact that this person, you know, is not here to basically do you the way your ex did you. Once you're able to accept that, you know, you're going to find yourself far more at ease, because right now you're in a relationship with someone that you want to like give yourself fully to, but there's that level of resistance because of everything that you've been through. You know, it's kind of like the epitome, let me not, you know, let me not give this person my all because, you know, they might abandon me like this ex of mine did. They might cheat on me like this ex of mine did. You see what I mean? And this is kind of why I feel like the universe, as well as this individual, is constantly showing you don't have anything to worry about. You could fully give into this entire situation without fear and or hesitation. I just kind of feel like it might take some time, you know, for you to get to that point as far as accepting the fact that you don't have anything to worry about. But outside of that, I think that you're doing a pretty good job at navigating everything that you're currently going through. How does this person currently feel? We have the King of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Wands, and then we also have the Queen of Swords. This person feels like they experience two different versions of you at times, is basically what I'm getting. So let's talk about it. Queen of Swords to the Queen of Wands. Typically when we see these two paired to one another, it could definitely represent somebody who has been through a lot in previous relationships, making it hard for this individual to trust people, making it hard for this individual to let people in. And I feel like that's how this person perceives you at times, as somebody who does have a very difficult time trusting them, does have a very difficult time letting them in, does have a very difficult time lowering your guard down with them. With the King of Pentacles coming out here, that's kind of telling me that at times this person has had to like prove to you that they're, you know, faithful to you, loyal to you, committed to you, devoted to you, things of that nature, because there's times where they get this version of you, and this is basically this version of you where you feel safe and secure with them. There's times where they do get this version of you. There's times where this person you know, feels like you do trust them. There's times where this person, you know, feels like, you know, you're not worried about them doing X, Y, and Z, right, behind your back. But there's times where this person does feel like they get this other version of you, which is like the polar opposite of this right here. Because the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who feels safe and secure within themselves and, you know, the relationship that they find themselves in. But there's times, man, where like you kind of, you know, give this person this version of you, which is basically the polar opposite of this version over here. That's basically what I'm gathering. But even then, even when this person finds themselves experiencing this other version of you, that has your doubts, your reservations, and because there's times where you allow your doubts and reservations to get the best of you, and this is when this version of you comes out. But other than that, you know what I mean? This person comes off to me as somebody who doesn't have an issue with proving their, you know, love to you and their loyalty to you and their, you know, commitment, devotion to you and what they share with you. So I do like the fact that this person is definitely helping you on this healing journey. All right. What actions will Aries take towards this person or moving forward? All right, so we do have the Emperor, we do have the Two of Wands, and then we also have the World. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Strength card. I like this. For those of you who don't know this, the person that's in the Strength card is basically the Empress. So in regards to how you plan on moving forward, Aries, I think that there's going to come a point in time where you're going to accept the fact that you do have a good man by your side or a good woman by your side. Once you accept that, I think that your whole life with this person is going to drastically change, and it is going to drastically change for the better. You're going to find yourself feeling safe with them. You're going to find yourself feeling secure, you know, with them. Once you come into this place of acceptance that you are dealing, you know, with somebody who is, you know, very, very serious about you and what they share with you. What actions will this person take towards Aries or moving forward? So we have the Nine of Cups, we have the Three of Swords, and then we also have the Knight of Pentacles. The bottom of the deck, we do have the Seven of Swords. We also have the Six of Pentacles, to the Chariot, to the Nine of Swords, to the Eight of Swords, to the Knight of Wands. Okay, let's talk. So in regards to how this person plans on moving forward, I feel like this is what's also kind of like prompting you to just accept your reality with this person, you know, for once and for all, as far as like you dealing with somebody who actually is very trustworthy and who isn't out to get you and, you know, things of that nature. I feel like it has a lot to do with this energy that this person's harnessing. I feel like this person has been trying to gain your heart as well as your love and your trust. Now, I do feel like to a degree they have been successful at it, but again, they are still being met with this other version of you that doesn't necessarily trust them, that does at times think that this person's out to get you, you know, things of that nature. And I feel like that has definitely taken a toll, you know, on this person, because in all actuality, I mean, it's never easy dealing with somebody who, you know, has a lot of trauma. It's never easy, especially if you don't know how to, you know, properly help that person that you're dealing with that has a lot of trauma. You know, it can definitely take a toll on a person. And I think that this person, they walked into this relationship with you discovering, you know, the fact that you haven't fully healed from your past traumas. And I think that this person has tried to the best of their ability to help you in the ways that they think would essentially help you. But even then, you know, this person feels like at times you still find yourself struggling with fully trusting them and lowering your guard down with them. And I think that over time that has become become, very, very heavy, for this person to essentially carry, and very, very stressful at times. I'm also getting that. So I do feel like this person, in the future is going to essentially, push you to just learn, you know what I mean? How to just trust them and just simply learn, how to just let go and give in. Because at the end of the day, and this person does technically speaking have a point, um, this entire situation that you guys find yourselves in requires the both of you to take a chance, the both of you to basically take a risk here. This person's putting themselves in that predicament to potentially get played by you one day. You know what I mean? It's a possibility, not to say that you're ever going to do that to them, but it's a possibility that one day, yeah, you might turn around and play them. You know what I mean? And if you do, there is no way that they're going to be able to stop that from happening or prevent that from happening. This person understands that when it comes down to love, you just have to take that chance. You just have to basically take that risk. And I do see this person taking that chance and that risk when it comes down to you. And even though they feel like they can trust you, there's still a possibility that even despite the fact that they trust you, you could always turn around and play them for all they know. You know what I mean? And they would have no control over that because they can't, at the end of the day, control you and what you decide to do. You know what I mean? Which this person does have a point. I will give them that. They definitely do have a point. But I think this person's also going to express to you how stressful it is at times, for them to have to deal with this other version of you that doesn't trust them, that constantly thinks, that this person's out to get you, things of that nature, not to say, right? Not to say that this person is not going to continue to try to help you in any way that they can and put your mind at ease in any way that they can, but it's just starting to become, a lot is basically what I'm getting. It's starting to become a lot. This constant you thinking that they're doing X, Y, and Z behind your back, like it's starting to become a lot. And it at times also causes this person to think to themselves, like, damn, like, does Aries think this way about me because they're actually out here doing things? Because I know I'm not. So, it might cause them to fall into that type of mentality to essentially think that maybe you're the one out here doing things and that's why you think they're out here doing things. You know what I mean? Even though it kind of looks like you're not. But yeah, point is that once this person, does kind of have this breaking moment, and they do express to you like, yo, this is like starting to become, like a lot, like I'm not doing anything and I'm trying to help you, but I feel like everything I'm doing to help you just is not working out. Like, I mean, I just need you to trust me. I just want you to trust me. I've tried to do everything to gain your trust and it's just not working. I just can't take this anymore. It's just stressful. Like, I think that that's going to be your wake up call. I think that you're going to realize, you know what, like, I need to stop. You know what I mean? I need to stop thinking the worst when it comes onto this person. I need to stop thinking that this person's out to get me and doesn't have my best interests at heart. I think that you're just going to realize that you being this way, even though you don't want to be this way, because it's not like you want to be this way. I think that your past and everything that you've been through has made you this way. I don't believe that this has anything to do with you actually doing something behind their back. Therefore, you think that they're doing something behind yours. No, I don't think that you want to be this way. I just think that you've been through a lot of shit and your past has, molded you into this person who is very, very guarded, who is very afraid to let an individual in, you know what I mean? But that's not your fault. You didn't actually get betrayed. You didn't ask to get deceived. You didn't ask to go through the shit that you went through, because had you not went through the shit that you went through, you wouldn't show up in this relationship in this manner. If anything, you would have dived head first in, you know what I mean, when it came down to this person, your relationship with them. But because you went through what you went through, it made you a very cautious individual and a very guarded, individual. But I think that once this moment does occur, and this person does kind of express to you like, yo, this is starting to become too much, like, I'm starting to feel like I'm never going to gain your trust and things like that. I think that it's going to be your wake up call, and it's going to cause you to realize, you know what, I need to like stop like making this person pay for what somebody else put me through, because it's not fair. I need to stop, feeling like I can't trust them because of what this other person did, because in a way it's not fair to them and it's not fair to you to carry what this other individual did in this amazing relationship that you could have, with this person. Just because your ex was a douchebag doesn't mean that this person's a douchebag, you know what I mean? And I think that history has revealed that to you. I think that time has revealed that to you. I think this person has revealed that to you. It's just a matter of accepting that, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of accepting that already. It kind of looks like you're the only person that this human being sees and basically wants. I mean, you guys are showing up as a king and the queen of pentacles to the emperor to the empress, Um, if you have this fear of them like cheating on you or stepping out on you or whatever the case may be, let's just say, right, that you were like, I don't know, like a page or something like that. I can definitely see them possibly stepping out of this marriage and a relationship that you guys share with one another. But there's no, when it comes down to the king and the queen of pentacles, to the emperor, to the empress, not to say that it's impossible for these two to step out of their marriages. It's just a very, 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 very uncommon thing to see, primarily because again, the king and the queen of pentacles, when they get together, you know, they look at the individual that they're with as like the perfect person for them. Like that person has everything that they want and desire within a person. Therefore, there is no rhyme or reason to step out of the marriage or the relationship because they already got what they want within their person. But if, you know, your person was a king of pentacles and you were like a page or like a knight or some shit like that, then yeah, I can definitely see this person stepping out of this marriage and a relationship that they share with you, because that would mean that you lack a lot that this person wants and desires within a person. And when you're dealing with somebody that, you know, doesn't have what you truly want and desire within a person, and somebody else comes along that just so happens to have what you truly want and desire within a person, it could definitely prompt a person to step out of their marriage. But in this case, it's not something that y'all have to worry about, because you look at them like they're perfect for you. Therefore, you don't really have the need to step out of your marriage or your relationship with this person, because you already got everything that you want and need out of this person, vice versa. And you guys are showing up as the emperor to the empress. With the emperor to the empress, dude, it's like y'all could connect with one another in all sorts of different levels. That's how compatible you guys are. That's how well you guys mesh with one another. So it's just not that, I'm not going to say that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's very, 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 very uncommon to see an empress, for example, to step out of their marriage and entertain somebody else, or an emperor to step out of their marriage and entertain somebody else, a relationship. It's just very, very rare, very, very rare, very, very, very rare, and just uncommon, to be completely honest, to see the king to the queen of pentacles to do this, or the emperor to the empress to do this. It's just very, very uncommon. Like, if you didn't possess everything that they wanted and desire within a person, different story, vice versa. You know what I mean? Again, different story, but y'all don't have that problem. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing too. It's very uncommon to meet a king of pentacles, just like it's very uncommon to meet a queen of pentacles. It's also very uncommon to meet an emperor to an emperor. It's just uncommon because, you know, these are the type of people that are usually already cooped up or married to somebody. So to meet a single empress, to meet a single emperor, to meet a single king of pentacles or a queen of pentacles is rare in itself. It is very, very rare, very, very rare. Not to say that it's uncommon. I mean, not to say that it's impossible, but it's just very, very rare. And I feel like the main reason why it's so rare to actually meet a single queen of pentacles or king of pentacles is because when they are single, they spend the vast majority of their time living a very simple life. So what they do is they go to work, they do their 9 to 5, you know, they come back home, attend to their home, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. They rarely ever make, you know, room to find the one. These are like firm believers that they rather, you know, focus on themselves and just wait for the right person to essentially come along. So they don't really put themselves in predicaments to, you know, meet someone, just like, you know, any other court card would. Any other court card would, like, you know, make it a mission to put themselves out there and be in the dating scene 24/7, 7 days a week. A king of pentacles to a queen of pentacles is not going to do that. Not to say they won't put themselves out there in a dating scene, but they're just firm believers that they rather allow love to essentially find them instead of them going looking for it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think that y'all have a really, really good thing. I just think that once you're able to accept your reality with this person for what it is, everything within you is going to change for the better, and everything within this relationship is going to change for the better. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys in your